Crazy in 10 or less. This is the show where I give it to you in 10 minutes or under. And if I don't, it happens. That happens. Anyway, independence, the community, growing together. That's been the theme, right? So you reach out to all these podcasters that are bending over backwards to spotlight you. They make the time, they edit the videos, they're paying for their streaming services, they're doing all these things, but they're not growing because you're not subscribing. That's the topic of the day. That's it. I'm Sam the Crazy Bad Vera. Stop acting up. Let's get it. So, it dawned on me. I've been looking at it. So we have been doing this for a long time, and we want to get monetized. But then we started taking a look at our peers in the industry, and there are so many podcasters that are out there that are doing this to support you and me, the indie guys, and give you a platform to get your word out. But they can't seem to grow in audience, and it started clicking. Wait, if you have a channel that's had 300 videos, and let's say out of 300 videos you had 180 guests, but they only have 67 subscribers, that means the majority of the guests have never paid forward. And that's a problem, because we, as podcasters, true podcasters, are doing this because we love the game. I'm doing this because we're trying to give independents an opportunity to reach a broader audience, right? We're not monetized, so there's no revenue coming in. We try to sell sponsorship ad space, to try to bring in some sort of income to offset and stop the bleeding of all the outgoing money. We spend the time on the software. We're editing, we're creating promos, we're posting on all our social media platforms. And the least that you can do as an independent is subscribe to their channel. Not just subscribe because you're on it that night and then desubscribe a week later when nobody's looking, because you're not helping, right? So I'm looking at like Nerds of the Round. These guys have a great channel. A great channel. These guys know the game. They know the comic book business like nobody's business. They can talk about every movie, every comic book. They do their research. They spend a lot of time digging into crates to give you quality content, and they interview a lot of people. They should not be at 230 subscribers. We're looking at Creators Outlet. Really cool, sincere, lover of comics, brings people on, only at 190 subscribers. How many people have been on this show who have not subscribed? Russ Explode, probably the most genuine dude out there. When you go on his show, he's likable, he's sincere, he's passionate. He's only at 65 subscribers on his channel, but he spends the time to talk to as many independents out there as possible. More than 65 people. So then it comes. I struggle with this because I can tell you right now, we have interviewed hundreds and hundreds of independents, and I can honestly say that only about 50% of those indies have actually subscribed to our show or promoted our show, or even encouraged their fans to follow suit. And it's discouraging because we keep hearing in the communities, on the chat rooms, on whatever it is, on all the platforms, how the indies need to support each other and grow together, but we're truly not. We're truly not. And there's still that self-interest that takes place. Anybody who subscribed and has a channel, I subscribe back. Anybody who follows on social media, I follow back. It's just paying it forward, right? And I'll tell you right now, we are trying to get to 1,000, right? And we're at 403 right now. But 50% of the people have not subscribed or even promoted it. There are indies that have been on the show that don't even promote the fact that they were on the show. But they reached out to us and wanted to get on the show. And 90% of the people that are on our show have reached out to us. Right? And we make it work. We make it fit. You know, we put on the cameras. We put on the lights. We create the images. We send it out on 7 different social media platforms. We do promos to hook you up. And the more we grow, the more exposure you get. So what's the holdup? I can tell you on YouTube, I subscribe to almost 2,000 channels. And I can tell you, and of the 2,000 channels, about 70% are independent podcasters or comic book creators that are out there that I just subscribe to the channel to help them. You know, because we all want to grow. 90% have not returned the favor. 90%. Then why? Then you have the guys that say, hey, you know, I don't do sub for subs anymore. And we did that in the beginning a year ago. We don't do it anymore because people hide. They keep their channels private. They say, oh, I just subbed you. And then when you sub them, a week later, when you're not looking, the sub is gone. Right? So why? So that begs the question, why? Why the games? Why not return the love? Why not return the favor? If you want the independent community to grow, why aren't you, as a creator, giving as much love to the podcaster as the podcast is giving to you? If you've been on Cast the Craze and haven't subscribed to the show, but you reached out to us to promote you, and we have, why haven't you returned the favor? If you reached out to Nerds That Are Around and they've given you love, why haven't you returned the love? Russ Explode, right? Creators Outlet. That's just to name a few. There's tons of them out there, you know. And if we're truly going to grow together, we need to start supporting each other, you know. And that's the part that I struggle with, you know. So that's why I'm very weary, and I tread lightly when I'm navigating these waters. And so if I'm out there and I see somebody, they have a channel and they're trying to grow and they're supporting independence, I'm supporting you. Because you're in the pool with us. You're swimming with us. And I think it's about time that we all start practicing what we preach. You can't just take. You have to give it back as well. You know, so that everybody eats. That everybody's at the table. That someone's not sitting outside of the restaurant looking in, right? While everybody else is eating. But yet that someone had you over at their house and gave you a plate. But you're not even inviting them into the restaurant. That's foul. You know, so how, the question I'm challenging all the independent creators that are right now typing up, sending emails or DMs to podcasters. Yo, I want to, you know, I have a book, and you get me on the show. I have a book, and you get me on the show. You know, blah 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 blah. Because that podcaster now has to promote you, create content, edit, upload, whatever they're doing. They're paying for these accounts. They're not getting money in return. They're not asking you to pay to get on the show. They're doing it out of the kindness of their hearts because they love the game and they want to see it grow. So while you're typing there, you should be subscribed. Yo, I just subscribed to your show, and I'm going to stay an avid supporter of your show. I'm not going to pull out a week or two later and only subscribe when it's time for me to come on. Because your show lives there forever. Why are you banging out? So are we truly here to support each other? Are we truly trying to grow together? Or there's an ulterior motive? I'm just going to use those who I can when I can and keep it moving. You know, and that's, you know, so I was talking to a buddy of mine. I was like, look, I'm going to bring this topic up because it has to be said, because we're watching it and I'm seeing it, and I see guys that are hustling, but they're not getting the love in return. So I'm putting the line in the sand. Independents out there. If you're reaching out to podcasters right now, subscribe to their shows. You're reaching out to us on Cast the Craze, subscribe to our show. And don't keep your account private. Keep it public. So that's why we know that we can track it and maintain that love. If you're keeping your account private so that we can't see when you pull out, shame, 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 shame. But as you're typing that email, it says, yo, I subscribe to your show. And I'm encouraging my supporters to subscribe to your show. It got nothing but love for you. You know, I love to come on your show and talk about my book. And let them know that you're down for the cause and you're a true independent and you're supporting all independents. Don't separate podcasters from comic books because it's all the same. We're all independents trying to grow together. So as you type that email, as you DM me or George or Nerds of the Round or Russ or anybody out there, Raging Cajun, make sure you follow up with I just subscribed and they can actually see that you're there. Let's not play games. It's time that we truly grow together. Let's support each other. And let's watch this business flourish. Let's all eat. Even if it's small portions, at least everybody has something in their belly. Is that difficult to do? So we know all of you who've been on our show who haven't given us love. And we still give you love. So we're just waiting. I'd love to see you join the team and be part of the craze. For real. Not just when it suits you. Because your show lives there forever. And we put in a lot of work. We put a lot of work in. We promote you everywhere. Because we love what you do. Because we're independents too. And we love to receive that same love in return. So we give what we expect to receive, even when we don't get it. That's crazy. That's another episode of Catch the Craze. So, thank you all. Indiegogo campaign is done. Kickstarter campaign is done. All the books start delivering to me next week. Actually, this week. And as soon as I get it, 48-hour return. Look for that email. You'll know because you'll get an alert from the USPS that you're receiving that package or the package is in the mail. So be on the lookout for that. And mark your calendars. Forbidden #2, which is the third issue, launches November 1st on Kickstarter. And it's going to be Volume 1 graphic novel is the first 3 issues combined. You can get the floppy or you can get the collected. Either way, November 1st. Mark your calendar for that. With that said, I am Sam the Crazy Man. This was the Crazy 10 or Less. If you like this episode, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. And now let's practice what we preach. Talk to you later. Peace.